That's such terrible movement. Some people, I think, come on just for the shadow boxing and then they're gone. Once I get the shadow boxing done, so they come on first like 30 seconds, right? And then they're like, damn, Slee's kind of breathing hard. And then they're out. They're gone after that. Take a deep breath here. What is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being a part of the post-game show. We got a good post-game show tonight. Is the roof a little bit. Shaq used to do, can you dig it? A little bit of everything tonight. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. We're going to kick back tonight on this Saturday night. Saturday, January 25th, 8:08 p.m., and let's talk some Lakers basketball. Good win for the Lakers tonight. I got a couple of questions for everybody. We got a lot of different topics that we're going to hit on. Yes, not exactly your typical background and everything else. I'm up in the mountains today, so I didn't bring the green screen, didn't bring any of that stuff. I was like, you know what? Look, let me do my best here with it. I got good audio. I got a good camera. I got good people here, and we're going to get the show started. 118-108, the final score. I got a lot that I want to get into tonight. I'm going to throw this question out to Laker fans. Should you be impressed tonight because this is coming off the win against the Boston Celtics, or should you not be impressed because it's the Golden State Warriors and they're not a good team? I could be sold on either way, so I'm going to spend some time talking about that. I want to spend a lot of time talking about Anthony Davis. Rob, go get AD what he wants. Just make sure by the time the NBA trade deadline comes that Anthony Davis has another big so he can feel better and more comfortable about whatever the hell that he's looking for. AD had a monster night tonight. We'll spend some time on that. Some certain players I want to get into. I want to get into LeBron. I want to talk about Dorian Finney-Smith in the starting lineup. I want to talk about Dalton Knecht. All of a sudden, these last couple of games, hitting some shots and having a little bit of impact. And then, of course, we're going to spend time on Jared Vanderbilt, who makes his return, almost gone from the Lakers roster for about a year. He makes his return to the team. So obviously big time right there. I think we're going to I think if I saw this right, Lakers have won 5 of their last 6 games. They're 7 games over 500, which is the highest mark that the Lakers have had this season. So got to be honest with everybody. If anybody's negative on the chat tonight, if anybody's negative, blocked. Banned, could potentially even be arrested. I will get in touch with the right people and we will find you. We will find you. No negativity today because there's not really all that many negative things to talk about. We'll talk about Miles Turner too. Somebody said Miles Turner on here. Guys, a little bit over a week ago, I did a show with Dan Weike. On that show, Dan Weike said Miles Turner, just that could be a name that comes up. And he said, wait till closer to the trade deadline that could be a name that comes up. And then, of course, Jovan had put something out there. I think it was earlier today, yesterday, whenever that was. So I'm just saying, Dan Weike was mentioning that about a week ago on the Sliwa show, which is fantastic. Jovan's got his sources as well, so you got to love it. A lot of these people that we've used on the show and are doing their own thing. All right, let's get the show started. 118, 108, the 118 to 108, the final score. So Lakers obviously over the Golden State Warriors. Let me just start off with this real quick because I do want to get it started. I don't care what Jared Vanderbilt's minutes were. Or I'm sorry, I don't care what his stat line was. I don't care if the man had 25 tonight, which is not his game anyways, or if he had 0 points tonight. Vando's finally back. Like, what more do you want me to tell you? Jared Vanderbilt is back with the Los Angeles Lakers. That in itself is big time news for the Lakers. Oh, by the way, if we want to take a look at some stats with Jared Vanderbilt, in 12 minutes of play, Vando had 3 steals and 4 rebounds. There's certain players. Look, I'm not going to say, let's put it this way. There's certain players on good playoff rosters that you can't equate a stat line to. Jared Vanderbilt is one of those guys. That's why we've been talking about Vanderbilt for so long. The Laker fans' frustration about Jared Vanderbilt was never about his play. It was, when is he going to come back? Guys, we keep talking about Jared Vanderbilt, but when is this man actually going to play a game for the Lakers? I mean, I'm looking at his stat line. I'm looking at his impact. Put all that to the side for a quick second. Again, if you want to look at the stat sheet, 4 rebounds and 3 steals for Jared Vanderbilt in 12 minutes, phenomenal. You take that all day long. That's exactly what you want from a player like that. And when he gets 12 minutes, that turns into 20 minutes. Okay, what's that going to do? Now is his rebounds around 6 or 7? When he gets up to 25 minutes, what's that going to look like? You need playoff rosters, need guys like Jared Vanderbilt. They need them. Isn't it just refreshing to sit back and say Jared Vanderbilt and say his name actually associated with a game, not, hey, here's the latest update. There's no update. Yeah, he's making progress. There's a setback. There's this, there's that. That's all we've talked about Jared Vanderbilt since he had his injury on February 1st, 2024. So the first thing I want to start off tonight's show is just by mentioning how nice it is to have Jared Vanderbilt back in this game. Phenomenal, great, and hopefully, I don't care what Vando does for a month. I actually wrote it down. I have some notes here that, sometimes when the game is going on, I'll just kind of make some side notes. I don't care what Vando does until after the All-Star break. I'm just happy to see Vando back. I'm just happy to see him in the lineup. I'm just happy to seeing the man contribute. Let me real quick here. Let's get to JJ Redick. We'll get with JJ, get his thoughts, and then I'll keep going after that. Here's JJ.
Yeah, I thought our defense in the first half was actually really good. Where they hurt us in the first half, particularly the first quarter, was our turnovers and the offensive glass. 6 turnovers in the first, or 5 turnovers. I'm sorry, 5 turnovers in the first quarter, 6 offensive rebounds, 4 the rest of the way, 7 turnovers the rest of the way. We did a better job of that. Gave them a lot of it was transition opportunities. They had 17 transition opportunities in the first half. I thought we did a better job of just setting our defense. Our physicality, communication was great all night.
With Jared Vanderbilt, we know that he hasn't played in almost a calendar year. How did you think he was able to still impact the team? +8 steals, assists. And what does that give you?
Vando was awesome. Did all the things that we need him to do. And
I just said that, JJ.
I have a strong sense that he's been sandbagging over the last 3 weeks, just in terms of his intensity level with playing against coaching associates, because that we have not seen that in the gym, and it looked like the Vando that we know. He was great, and I thought that run that he had in the second half, just his activity, got a couple offensive rebounds. Like, he ended up with 2, had to tip in the first half, got another one in the second half. Just fantastic stuff from him.
Not often you're going to see Steph Curry go 0 of 8 and a half and 0 of 4 from distance. What were you guys able to do defensively against him after halftime?
Yeah, I mean, what do you have? He had 2 threes. One was on an offensive rebound. And I'm blanking on the second one in the first half, but I thought just staying in front, having a stick hand up, not allowing separation. We did a great job on and off the ball. I thought our guys, again, for the second straight game, just the game plan discipline and trusting the game plan and then going out and executing it at an extremely high level was really good.
Jit talked about the first half.
I muted
defense,
my sneeze, by the way. That's a professional right there.
You guys are now 22-2.
Complete pro.
You have a lead in the fourth quarter, and it seemed like you went from a strong lead to a stronger lead. What'd you like in that fourth quarter?
We kept it really simple offensively. I liked that. I thought our execution was really good.
We're going to end it after
this.
this.
We were in the middle of the court. We also did a great job of, and I told AD at halftime, I said, we're getting you the ball in the pocket. That was very intentional. We're getting you the ball in the pocket. Just be aware that they're swarming and that corner's open. And he found somebody in the corner for a 3. Season high tonight for corner 3s made. We were 8 of 14 from the corner. So I just thought the execution in the middle and then to be able to spray out and be unselfish and knock down shots was big.
All right, that's enough. Thank you, JJ. We appreciate it, brother, but we got a post-game show to get into. So thank you. We will reach out when we need you again down the road. All right. By the way, those 2 corner the corner 3s he's talking about, the 8 of 14, there was a stretch there. Who hit him? AD hit Christie in the corner. Reeves had a beautiful screen. Never, those are things you won't see in the stat line. Hits a 3, and I think the lead went from 6 to 9. And then the very next possession, Lakers got to stop. Braun hit Christie in the corner, kind of a quick touch pass. and it went from 9 to 12. And just like that, 2 corner threes, the game became double digits, and the Lakers never turned back from there. So phenomenal shooting by the Lakers, 8 of 14. But Max Christie had a couple of those, so I want to point that out here real quick. So let me just show you guys what some of the comments are here, because I think people feel the exact same way that I do. Vando already made a difference, and it was only his first game. Vanderbilt. This one's a fantasy thing. All right, gave me 18 points. Not bad for the first game. All right, let me find another one here. Vando and Finney Smith will be great together. Wait till Vando is back at 100% and gets his cardio right. Already seeing the benefits of Vando. Shout out to Vando. Feels so good to have Vando back. Vando crushes. You guys get the theme here. The theme here is every single Laker fan out there feels the same way. Damn, it feels good to have this guy back. Guys, I'm not trying to sit here and sell you that the Lakers just got Anthony Edwards or they got Ja Morant or they got this all-star, but they got somebody that they need. It's when you got a dude that just wants to crash the glass and play defense and try to get steals, and if he gets a bucket, he gets a bucket, but he really doesn't give a you-know-what. You don't think that's an important player on a playoff roster? During an 80 regular season, 82-game grind, very important, very important. You know, there's enough people in this chat and that are huge NBA fans or basketball fans or maybe played basketball their whole life and now they just want to watch the game, whatever the case is. Everybody knows when you have those types of players, you can't have too many of them. You know, you still got to have guys that focus on offense, that are facilitating or getting assists and things like that. But when you put together a team, you got to find guys that amplify each other's strengths. We know what AD's strengths are. We know what Austin Reeves' strengths are. We know what DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith, what LeBron brings to the table, what Max Christie. Jared Vanderbilt is one of those guys. There isn't a team out in the league that if Vando is, available to produce, that they wouldn't say, we need a player like that. Maybe they already got a player like that, but you need players like Jared Vanderbilt. So, all right, give enough love there to Vando, and I think a lot of Laker fans agree with me in regards to that. Let's talk a little bit about the game here real quick. I'm going to throw a question out to Laker fans out there. There's 2 ways to look at this game, all right? I can sit here and I could tell you that this was a big win because you just got off a win against the Boston Celtics. Remember LeBron, he was getting asked the question in the postgame show after the Celtics. Hey, is this a big win? Is this that? He's like, no, guys, don't do that. Because if we don't come out and beat the Warriors on Saturday, then what the hell is that? Nobody's going to remember the win against the Celtics. Or maybe they're going to remember it, but it's going to lose its value. It's going to lose its power. It's going to lose its strength. When I was doing the show on, let's see what we had here. What's today? Saturday. I was doing the show yesterday, Friday morning. And there was a little bit of, okay, let's look at these 6-game road trip that the Lakers are on. Can they go 4-2? Well, it was going to be important to beat the Golden State Warriors, and they beat them. One way to look at this game is this was a really, really good win because it's coming off the win against the Boston Celtics. Do you know how I look at this game? The Lakers just took care of business. Warriors are not a good team. Draymond Green didn't play. Guys, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Lakers' win, but what I'm trying to do is amplify what the Lakers are. If you're a team that truly, truly wants to make noise between now and the end of April or mid-April, and then as you get into the playoffs, you're supposed to win games like this. You know what I'd really like to see from Laker fans and from myself, and anytime we're talking Lakers basketball, there starts to be an expectation. Yeah, they're supposed to win that game. They're going to win that game. No. Lakers are going to handle business in that game. And that's kind of how I looked at the Warriors. Warriors are right around 500. We know the Lakers' record when they play against teams that are below 500. Was it 13-1 or something along those lines? We know what the Lakers have been able to do under those circumstances, under those predicaments. With that being said, what we haven't been able to do with the Lakers is to say, oh, no, they're going to handle business tonight. They just haven't given us – they haven't been consistent enough. They hadn't given you that confidence enough. They're kind of all over the place. One half, they look great. The second half, they look awful. I thought tonight, for me, you could probably say both of those things are true that I mentioned. That winning because this is coming off the win against the Boston Celtics. That part's impressive. They've won now 5 of their last 6. They're now 7 games over 500. But I also would really like to see the Lakers. I would like a lot of Laker fans to have that expectation. Guys are taking care of business tonight. And that has not been the case with the Lakers. They took care of business tonight. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here, see what you guys got to say. Spark a blunt with a slee. Okay. All right. I got you. Let me, you know what? Yep. Just give me like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'm with you. Crack a beer with us. No problem. Just give me 15 minutes. Let me smoke first and then I'll get over there. Just give me a second. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Let me see a couple of these here. I want to see some stuff that's maybe let me see a couple of these numbers here or a couple of these comments here if people kind of agree with the Warrior side of things. A lot of Vando stuff in here. Give Vando all the credit in the world. This is interesting. I'm going to get into Rui in a little bit. Actually, let me do it right now. I'll get into Anthony Davis and everybody else in just a second. I've already told you guys this before. I've already mentioned to you guys that if you watch some of my videos, if you watch the show that I do, the Sleewa show that I do in the mornings, I've said Rui is expendable. I've said Gabe Vincent is expendable, even though Gabe's playing a little bit better, but certainly Rui's expendable. If they go out there and go make a trade, if it's the type of caliber player that you need, Rui's contract's going to be needed. We'll see what happens. I mean, some of these contracts are $2 million. Some of them are $10 million. Some of them are $22 million. So it just kind of depends what kind of player you're going to go out there and get. What do you think about taking Rui out of the starting lineup? Not just because of this game. And the Lakers won't do that, by the way. That's not going to happen. And I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that Dorian Finney-Smith dropped 35, but Dorian Finney-Smith had the highest plus-minus of any player on the court tonight. He had a plus 20 in the plus-minus. I don't think anybody from the Warriors obviously had that. They didn't because they lost. He had a plus 20, hit a couple of threes, 3 or 4 from the field. Very calculated. The guy doesn't kind of go out of his way. He's never going to take too many shots or anything like that. Obviously, we know his impact on the defensive side, 8 points. I don't want to overreact over one game. But if they announce tomorrow, hey, Rui's coming off the bench, I'm not losing any sleep. If they announce tomorrow, Rui got traded because the Lakers just got a big, which is what Anthony Davis, obviously clearly wants, I'm also not losing any sleep. My personal opinion, some people might disagree with that. But when you look at this roster, he's one of the guys. You just got Vando back. You traded for Dorian Finney-Smith. Now you're kind of starting to ask yourself, okay, well, if you go out there and you go make another move, what player are you going to use? Rui is probably the player that's most likely to be used. Look, could be Rui, could be Gabe Vincent, could be some smaller contracts, the Christian Woods of the world. I've seen Vando's name be thrown around. I don't think Vando's going anywhere, by the way. So, hey, I'll read a couple of these comments. Listen, I already know this. I know this because this has happened before. They don't typically – somebody doesn't lose their starting spot because – they got injured or something along those lines. So that part's probably not going to happen. But I think it's more just the big picture of Rui and, what you want to see from Rui on this team and if you think he's going to be here. All right, let's see what we got here. I agree. You need to win games like this if you want to win the championship. Can I tell you something? Well, let's not even... I've said this before and I'll say it again. Championship and Lakers right now do not belong in the same sentence at all. But I think the right way to put this, you need to win games like this if you want to be a tough out in the playoffs, right? These are the games you blew out the Wizards because you were supposed to. Then you shocked everyone because you beat the Boston Celtics and handled them. And then you came back in and you took care of a Golden State Warriors team that you should beat. Listen, Draymond's not there. That team is not good. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. They don't have a good roster. They don't have a good team. Okay, 100%. I do right. Listen to me. Right when the show's over, I do a keg stand. 100%. No hesitation. Just all in on the keg stand like I was back at San Diego State University. That's actually where I go right after I'm done with this Saturday night. Right back to San Diego State. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at a couple of these supers here. By the way, I still got to get to Anthony. Are they interviewing? I'm probably missing all the interviews. I probably missed already a couple interviews. It's all right. We'll just keep going. Let me see this comment here real quick. Team looks phenomenal without Rui. Make a couple trades, Rui included, and I'll take my chances with any team. Imagine Cam Johnson and Kessler here. Well, I'll tell you this. Here's kind of the beauty. By the way, I didn't give that one enough love. Easy Money, thank you for the super. Greatly appreciate that. You bought my cup of coffee tomorrow, so thank you for doing that, brother. I appreciate you. I did a video yesterday, and I said that if I can give Pelinka any support, this is the support I'll give Pelinka. This team's been so inconsistent. I'm sure times Pelinka's like, I'm going to overpay and give up 2 first-rounders, and this team isn't even convincing me that they can compete for anything, that they can make it to the Western Conference Finals. All right, well, what happens, you're 7 games over 500 in the next 2 weeks with a favorable schedule. Can you get to 8, 9, maybe even 10 games over 500? Now you're putting Rob Pelinka in a position where that man's got no choice. So they certainly can make their case there. All right, let's see some more here. Get a couple more here, and then I want to get back to a couple. I still haven't even talked about Anthony Davis yet, so I'm going to keep an eye out for AD if he's got one of his interviews going on. All right, let's see what we got here. Seeing how Vando was out here changes everything. If it came down to trading Dalton Connect and a first for Kessler, you doing it. Love your show. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being on here. Dalton Connect, a first, Walker Kessler. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that Anthony Davis is happy. I don't know if you guys listened to my show yesterday in the morning, but I was really, really going out of my way, basically saying the most important player on the Los Angeles Lakers in the entire franchise right now. I don't care if you're talking about the coach. I don't care if you're talking about the president of basketball operations. I don't care if you're talking about LeBron. I don't care if you're talking about any other player within the organization. The most important person within that organization right now is Anthony Davis. Can you do me a favor, please, and make sure that AD's happy? Please? Can you guys not play with fire here when it comes to Anthony Davis? AD tonight, 36 and 13 with 3 steals and a block. Just another day in the office for Anthony Davis. He's the most important player on this team and on this roster. That's what Anthony Davis is. And, addressing that trade specifically, why wouldn't I just tell you this? If it's going to make Anthony Davis happy and Anthony Davis is down for the trade and Anthony Davis feels like, hey, this is the best chance we have of making a playoff run, I'm going to do whatever the hell Anthony Davis wants. All right, let's take a quick listen. Braun is talking right now. Let's get his thoughts on the Lakers over the Warriors. Here we go.
The first 41 was kind of play some good ball. Then we didn't play good ball, kind of like a roller coaster. So hopefully we can learn from the things that we didn't do so well in the first 41 and apply them to the last 41. So I guess we're off to a good start so far.
What did you see from Vando tonight?
Besides his win, like he didn't miss a beat. I mean, he's flying around. What he does don't even always show up in the box score, but to come back in his first game, and you guys would know more than I know at the time. I know it's been quite a while to have 3 steals, have the playmaking, the assists, caught the ball in the pocket, found a guy on the opposite corner for a 3, offensive rebound, tip in. Vando we missed him, so I was happy to have him back.
It's been about a week since we talked about margins in LA. Having a guy like Vando who can create easy baskets off of steals, having Max and Gabe defend Steph the way they defended Steph, like having those guys kind of start in the roles, like what does that do to the margins?
It shrinks them a little bit when we're whole, but I think everyone took accountability, and everybody's just trying to play the right way and how we want to play and execute the game plan that Coach Reddick and the rest of the coaching staff, how they want us to play. So, like I said, today's game plan will be much different from the Boston game plan. Charlotte's game plan on Monday will be a lot different from today's game plan. And when we go out there and we execute it, if Jack's do what he's supposed to do and the rest of the guys do what they're supposed to do, we'll put ourselves in a position to win. And that's what we have to do. Every single night we have to execute our game plan.
What were you guys able to do defensively against Curry in the second half?
Final one here.
Went 0 for 8.
Just hope that he missed. It's that, man. Just hope that he missed. You put bodies in front of him, and you just hope that he missed.
All right, stop it right there. Mute this here. Get back to my full screen here. By the way, Braun, I am 25 minutes, almost 26 minutes in the post-game show. Just another 25 and 12 for Braun. Some really beautiful passes. I mentioned the one to Max Christie. He's getting a couple lobs, too, from Austin Reeves. Those two look like they're having a little bit of a connection. Overall, for the Lakers, you had 36 and 13 from AD. LeBron gave you 25 and 12. Really nice stat line. Can I talk about Austin Reeves here for a quick second? I think I can. Let me tell you guys why I can. Because basically I control this microphone and the video. So technically I can kind of talk about whatever I want. All right. No, let me mention this about real quick with Austin Reeves. So let's see. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in double figures. Dorian Finney-Smith a bucket away from making it 6 guys in double figures. You had 6 guys in double figures against Boston. Got to have balance. Real quick on Austin Reeves. You know, I feel like there's a lot of Laker fans, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, everybody obviously got their opinion, and there's a reason why they think the way they do. Austin Reeves was getting crucified in all the shows that I was doing. A lot of people were just coming at Austin Reeves. You know, I've said this before, and I've come to his defense, and I've also said that he is it's one of the most valuable contracts in the NBA for what he gives and what he gets paid. It's just a very, very valuable contract. All right, let me get back to my point here. I think tonight is exactly what Laker fans want from Austin Reeves. Here's what they're asking for. And frankly, I completely agree with this. What I don't want from Austin Reeves is you take 15 shots and you had 16 points. What I don't want from Austin Reeves is you're jacking up 8 threes. What I don't want from Austin Reeves is you're more scoring focused than facilitate, like that perfect balance of scoring and facilitating. Austin Reeves tonight, 16 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the field, only took 10 shots. I think for Austin Reeves, anywhere between 9 and maybe 13 shots is probably that sweet spot for Austin Reeves. 10 and 12, something like that. 6 of 10 from the field, and missed his threes, was 1 for 4 from the three-point line. But you didn't have to take all these shots to get 20 points or 17 points or 18 points or whatever it is. You still dropped 7 dimes. That is as close to what I think you're hoping for from Austin Reeves. But if Austin Reeves is going to do that, is going to give you 16 points and only take 10 shot attempts, well, then you need Max Christie to be in double figures. You need at least 1, maybe 2 guys to be in double figures coming off the bench. They got that tonight. Dalton Knecht gave them 13, 7 from Gabe Vincent. There's 20. Vando got 2. There's 22 points. Can you get to about 25 points or somewhere around there from off the bench as well? But I do think that that's almost a perfect stat line for Austin Reeves, and I think most Laker fans feel that way in regards to that. All right, let me look at some more of your comments here. Austin is the only perimeter player on our team that puts constant pressure on the defense. He can get his. Here's the only thing. Let me tell you the frustration that people have with Austin Reeves, and I get it. I will tell you that right now. Sometimes he forces too much when there's nothing there. There are other games where he just has too many turnovers, and teams adjust on him. They say, okay, well, why don't we put a bigger guy on him and just make his life a living hell? If Austin Reeves takes 10 shots and has 16 points and 7 dimes and 5-6 rebounds, you can't ask for anything more from Austin Reeves. You can't. And I'm not telling you that you're going to get that every single night, but what I'm telling you is that to me seems perfect. Everybody's trying to make Austin Reeves this. He's the third best player on the Lakers team, which means he's got to take X amount of shots and do this and do that. No, play to your strengths. I don't think his strength is taking 18 to 20 shots a game. Doesn't mean he can't drop 30. He can. But the Lakers they also don't have these ball handlers and facilitators that can go out there and distribute 7-8 dimes, and he doesn't have to worry about it. They need him to distribute. All right, let me see a couple more of these. AR just got to be consistent. AR is like the 5th best undrafted player ever. He's exceeded expectations by 1 million. Yeah, he's exceeded them, but now there's expectations. Now it's not, hey, this came out of nowhere. He's not a luxury. He's a necessity. You have to have Austin Reeves contribute every night. That's kind of the expectations he's built for himself. And frankly, the team is built for him as well. Fair or not, that's kind of where he is. Brian Jackson, Reeves is starting to grow on me. He doesn't have to start growing on you. I mean, the guy came out of nowhere. AR is a dog. All right, I got a trade thing I want to talk to you guys about here real quick. So here's a super. By the way, if you sent me a super, thank you very much. I appreciate it. For Mackenzie, are you trying to call me out at my rec center in El Cajon? I used to run that place. Okay, that's the Sliwa Court. All right, don't call me out at Kennedy Rec Center. All right, bro. I'm 41% from that corner 3. Kidding me? By the way, you go to ping pong, go on the other side of the rec center. You think I'm just going to whoop your ass on the basketball floor? Go to the ping pong courts. They're not courts. They're tables. They're tables. Go to the ping pong tables. Kidding me right now? All right, let's get another one here. Let's do this real quick. If Pacers going to ship Miles, I'll offer them Rui, Jackson Hayes, JHS, first round, and the second round. All right. Let's talk Miles Turner here real quick. I had this actually in my notes right here. It's a fun post-game show, by the way. Tonight's a fun post-game show. Let me hold off real quick. I'm gonna get into Miles Turner next. AD's talking. Hopefully, I didn't miss the whole thing.
Helping each other. Obviously, this team puts up a lot of threes, just like Boston. Early on, and they were able to get some second chance opportunities off some offensive rebounds, but we were able to do a better job in the second quarter into the second half of limiting them to one shot. Obviously, Steph didn't shoot it well, but I think that a lot of that was just on us. Our guards, Max and Gabe, Austin, Doe, both those now. Constantly into the ball and making it tough for him. So I think everybody played a part of, the Steph Curry defense that we try to play on them tonight. But I think we did a good job of just locking into the game plan once again and doing a good job defensively and holding to one shot.
So acquiring Finney Smith and then
get one more in
back,
here.
You're just bigger, more athletic than earlier in the year. And then also,
Steph
Jackson
4 of 17 by
the
the
two
way.
big looks. So what does that do for you and LeBron and the team in general, just having more size and length out there?
More rebounding, little things that we can do defensively now. I think towards the end of the third quarter and a little bit in the fourth, we were switching, 1 through 5. When you have myself, Bron, obviously Rudy was out, but Vando's back, Doe, and the starting lineup. Just a lot that we can do defensively. With our length and our size to be able to disrupt teams and make it challenging for them. So, obviously it's great to have Vando back, but I think he just added another key to our defense.
All right. I'm going to stop it right there. Let's get into a couple angles here. This Miles Turner stuff, and then back to the Anthony Davis front here real quick. By the way, that guy that you just heard, AD, is the most important person within the Lakers franchise right now, period. I'm going to keep saying it. That's not me being disrespectful to LeBron. He's 40. Doing unbelievable things. No guarantee he's going to be here for 2 years. You need AD to be here for the next 4 or 5 years. That's what you need from Anthony Davis. You need to make sure Anthony Davis is happy with the team, happy with the roster, and believes that the front office is accommodating the star, because that's just how the business works. And that doesn't mean that the front office has to, do things that don't make sense or make stupid trades. I'm not asking that. I'm not justifying any of that. What I'm saying is make sure Anthony Davis, when he talks, you're listening. That video came out, yesterday. That quote came out. The interview that Shams had with Anthony Davis, or maybe it came out on Thursday, and he's asking for a big. One of the bigs out there, I saw it earlier today. This was a quote coming from Jovan Bu on Miles Turner. I've heard a little bit of chatter about that, about some uncertainty, and not Lakers specific, just kind of league chatter in terms of Turner. If he's available, it would be more so because Indiana on the contract situation, not as much about them, because Indiana is not really a team that tanks or looks to sell off players, but that could be an exception just based on his contract situation. He goes on to say, if Miles Turner is available, I think if you're the Lakers, you have to go get him, because he fits perfectly next to AD on both sides of the ball, better than a guy like Walker Kessler. Guys, let me tell you why Miles Turner hasn't been much of a conversation. He has not been much of a conversation because you just kind of assume that he's not available. That's how I look at it. If you go look at the Indiana Pacers, I was just looking at the standings here just a second ago. They're 5th in the West. They're 25-20. I put a video out about a week ago. Yeah, about a week ago. Dan Wyke of the LA Times was on my show in the morning. And Dan Wyke kind of, leisurely threw out Miles Turner's name. And I was like, yeah, but Dan, Indiana's good. And he's like, yeah, but he could be available, but closer to the trade deadline. So to kind of back what Dan was saying, Jovan is saying it as well now. So maybe there is something there. Miles Turner is in the final year of his contract, and then he's an unrestricted free agent next year. If you ask me what I think the Indiana Pacers are going to do, I probably don't think they're going to trade him, because they're in the mix here. They're 25-20. They're 8-2. What would that fan base think if all of a sudden you traded away Miles Turner? But I'll play something off of what everybody else just said. If he's available, I don't think you could find a better fit than around Anthony Davis. I don't. Miles Turner's numbers for the year: 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 block shots a game. He's not going to be asked to do much. He is a threat that can be on the outside if AD's in the middle, or he can be on the middle. It's going to allow guys like AD to roam on the defense. He'd be a fantastic fit. The question is just going to come down to, would he actually be available? That's where I have, some of my doubts in regards to that, is if a guy like Miles Turner is going to be available, if he's going to be out on the market. Is it an interesting conversation? That's now 2 people that have mentioned Miles Turner's name in the last week or so. All right, we'll see what happens in regards to that. Thank you for the super brother. I appreciate it. All right, let me get to some more of your comments here. I'll take Kelly Olynyk over Turner. I take Miles Turner. I like Miles Turner. Olynyk, I will give you this, kind of a dog as well, playoff experience, but I'd rather have him. I'd rather have Nick T. Thank you for the super. I'd rather have Miles Turner. Get another one in here. Can they be competitive? Yes. Championship still feels distant. Yeah, guys, all you're trying to do is you just want to be in the mix. You just want to be in the mix. Winning 5 of your last 6, being 7 games over 500. It's all great. It's phenomenal. Feels good. It's, makes you feel like the Lakers are going in the right direction. Nobody all of a sudden is saying, hey, the Lakers are the team to beat. And frankly, I still think with their roster, they're still missing pieces in order to have that kind of conversation. Of course, having Vando back helps a lot. Now we have Vando. What's our team's identity? I'll tell you what I hope it is. I hope the Lakers' team identity is, I've told you guys this before, and it's probably boring. They gave up 88 against the Wizards, 96 against the Celtics, 108 against the Warriors. I hope it's defense. I hope it's a team that plays around their anchor, which is Anthony Davis, on both sides of the floor, and you got all these other guys contributing, and I hope that identity is the Lakers can get stops, and that's what they depend on. And then everybody else just kind of does their job. Let me take a quick look here at something. I do want to look. I don't know what other games were going on tonight. I think Denver lost, if I'm correct. Guys, Lakers are, I think, 2 games behind Denver for the number 4 spot. So they're right in the mix. That's all you're asking for, just being right in the mix. And there's a little bit of separation between them and some of these other teams. So that's obviously good to see. Sacramento finally started losing a couple games, which is nice. Dallas is just getting killed with all their injuries. And that's just part of the season, right? Like, who would have thought after last year that Karl Anthony Towns wasn't going to be on the Minnesota Timberwolves, that Sacramento fired their head coach, that, Dallas is having all the injuries that they have. Phoenix is in complete disarray. It's the NBA. Things can kind of change overnight, and that's what's happened. But Lakers right now, sitting in the number 5 spot in the Western Conference, they're putting themselves at least in a good position as we get to, as we start in the second half of the season. All right, let's see what else we got here. I want to get into a couple of the other games that we got going on as well. Oh, Clippers, Bucks. That's right. They're playing right now. 7 games over 500. Yeah, that part's impressive to me just because of how, the Lakers have been and, their situation in the past of just getting off to such poor starts, bad starts. Got off to a good start this year, and then it all went away when they went through that 3-8 stretch. What else did upcoming games. Let me give you guys just kind of a quick idea what we got, what the next few games are for the Lakers. They play Charlotte on Monday. Then they're at Philly on Tuesday, so they're going to go back-to-back. And they got Washington on Thursday. So 3 games in 4 nights. Probably not going to be easy because it's 3 games in 4 nights. Listen, if you take 2-1 on that stretch, which I know most people are going to look at the standings, I'll tell you what each of these teams are. This is how bad all these teams are that they got coming up, okay? Charlotte's 12-30. Philly's 17-27. And then the Wizards are 6-38. The reason why I said if you take 2 of those 3, of course you want all 3 of them, but if you take 2 of those 3, you're 3-1 on the road trip, and now you just got to win 1. Beat the Knicks or the Clippers, you're 4-2 on that road trip. Be pretty damn impressive. So those are the next few games that the Lakers got coming up. Their next actual game is going to be on Monday, so keep that one in mind. All right, Vando's talking. Let's take a listen what he's got to say. I'm probably coming in towards the end of this. Let's see if we got.
It was good to finally get back out there and get some game reps.
Jared, it's often talked about the journey. When you think about the journey to get back here, what does it mean to get back here, and how much were you thinking of that before they tipped off tonight?
It means everything, man. It's been a long journey, been a tough journey. It's almost been a full calendar year since I was able to play the game again. So, just taking everything, embracing it, the moment, and just being thankful for the moment, thankful for everybody that was a part of it, my rehab process, and the organization, everybody just being patient. So, it's a big step in the right direction, and I'm excited, and it's been a hell of a journey.
Lakers calendar
All right.
Monday taking on
Stop it
Charlotte.
there. I'm late. Guys, we just did the calendar. Okay. There's Vando right there. I started off the show saying this. I think a lot of people feel, the same way. Really, really nice to have Vando back on the roster. And certainly from that regard, you just take your chances. I looked at a couple comments here. AD just needs somebody to do the dirty work. Listen, this isn't like breaking news. The Lakers won a championship with that model. And then they went back to that model, even though it wasn't Dwight and it wasn't JaVale McGee, but they went back to that model with Marc Gasol. We'll never know if the Lakers could have won a championship after that 2019-2020 season because AD got injured in the playoffs. But I think the fact that if Anthony Davis was just kind of whining like, well, I don't want to do all the dirty work, and the Lakers were always better with AD at the 5, then I'd kind of look at AD and say, bro, this isn't a good look for you. But here's what Anthony Davis is saying. He's saying, we've won a championship with that model. Bring that championship back. We went away from that model the last couple of years, and look what's happened the last couple of years. So AD's also got some facts behind what he's saying. He's got some actual information behind what he's saying. Let's get another one here. We better not match up with Denver again in the first round. Playoffs started today, it'd be Lakers-Denver. If I got to be completely honest with you guys, I don't really care. I really don't. If you get Denver, you get Denver. If you try to get too cute and, you're trying to match things up certain ways, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Then you're really not a championship team to begin with. That doesn't mean you can't kind of luck out sometimes, but at the same time, I don't think I'm looking to avoid a team and say, yeah, I'm a championship caliber team. I just want to avoid these other teams as well. Oz, thank you very much, bro. I appreciate the super chat. I'm splurging tomorrow, man. Going all out tomorrow. Thank you, buddy. Really, does AD need another big, or should he man up and play center? Okay, that's a good transition here. Like Magic Johnson did as a rookie, just wondering. Greetings from Costa Rica. Oz, I'll tell you this, and I think it's the point that I just made. I wish I didn't make my point until I read this comment, but I'll make the point again. He's got data. There's data to what he's talking about. Again, if the Lakers were so much better with AD at the 5, then the last couple of years they got to the NBA Finals or they won an NBA championship, whatever the case is, right? Like, let's just say the data proved you need that. Let me give you an example. Would you say Giannis is manning up? Would you say Giannis is one of the premier players in the league? Would you say Giannis is a phenomenal basketball player? Because I would. Brook Lopez plays the 5 for him. So Giannis plays his more natural position, the 4. So as I get what you're saying, and I understand the idea and the concept, that there's data that shows that Lakers are probably better off with a 5 there for him. And I'll go back to what I said in the beginning. If that's what AD wants, then that's exactly what AD should get. That's exactly what AD should get. All right, a couple more here, and then we're going to call it a night here. That's right. Somebody's pointing out here. They also got Bobby Portis there as well. Man, that's why it's kind of funny what Minnesota was building. I will never for the life of me understand why they traded Karl Anthony Towns, their franchise player that they drafted, that was there for 9 or 10 years. And, whether you like the Gobert signing or you didn't, but you had – first off, I'm trying to trade Gobert before I'm trading Karl Anthony Towns. But you had Cat, Gobert. You had some other players on that roster too with great size that certainly were impactful. Certain teams, if something's working, you don't know how long it's going to work for. Don't screw it up. And I think a lot of people have, looked back at that championship team and have said to themselves, well, damn, Lakers had a really good shot to kind of continue what they were building. Maybe they got too cute. That's the best way that I can put it. Maybe they got too cute. By the way, I was talking about they had Gobert. Obviously, they still have Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, Naz Reid, who was a Laker killer basically, but Naz Reid, another player that's got good size that they were using as well. Things were working, and they went and screwed it up. Good for us because it's the Western Conference, and you want less teams that are competitive. It's the best thing that ever happened to Cat. Ungrateful front offices need to learn. Man, I still don't understand that trade. Okay, let's see what we got here. Brian, enjoy. Do your thing, man. It's Saturday. Guys, I'm going to mention one quick thing here, and then we're going to call it a night. So tomorrow, this is crazy here. I saw somebody put it in the chat as well. Now playing, this is a CNN production, if I'm correct. Kobe, The Making of a Legend. I saw a promo for that. I saw a couple different promos for that. Been seeing it on Twitter. I think I saw something on YouTube as well. Unfortunately, tomorrow is the 5-year anniversary of the passing of Kobe. Passing of Kobe, and always got to be mentioned. Obviously, Gianna as well. There was a total of, let me see here, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including the pilot, 9 people total lost their life 5 years ago on January 26th. Tomorrow. Listen, it's one of those moments where people are going to know exactly where they were, what they were doing. I'll tell you guys a story where I was when I got the news. Kind of a crazy day, but anyways, that's coming up tomorrow. There is this on CNN, Kobe, the making of a legend. So just keep that in mind. That's going to go down as one of those moments where you knew exactly where you were. You knew the details of that day. You knew how you found out. You knew this conversation, that conversation. 9/11, when the Twin Towers went down, I knew every detail of that day. Like, there's certain days, I'm sure people who are older than me, whatever, you could say the JFK assassination, certain events that happen in the world and in life where you kind of know all the details. Tomorrow will be the 5-year anniversary of Kobe's passing. I was kind of, ironically enough, I was up in Lake Arrowhead, and I went to mass that morning. And I left my phone in the car, so I didn't take my phone. Mass happened. When I'm done with mass, I go to the car. I look at my phone, and I'm not kidding, it's like X amount of missed calls, 60 text messages or whatever it is. I got the station 710 was trying to call me over and over again. I got no idea what's going on. Read a couple of the texts. I obviously found out what the news was. I drive down to LA. I drive down directly to the station, and they had different people that were on air before I was. And I remember talking to Amanda Brown, who was the program director. And I remember telling her, I said, hey, let me just go on a little bit later. And I was very accustomed to doing a solo show, obviously doing Lakers talk for many years. And my interaction with Laker fans was typically one-on-one. So I told her, I'm like, all right, why don't you just let me go on a little bit later, and then I'll go for as long as you want me to go. I went from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. that night, and just basically took calls. People were telling stories. I would tell a story here and there. I mean, it was more just allowing others to kind of vent, or not vent, but, to talk about the situation, or maybe an interaction that they had with Kobe, or what, their memory was, or whatever the case was. Yeah, I'll never forget that day. And then all of a sudden, when you're down there, I'm down in LA Live, and all of a sudden people just kind of start showing up to LA Live. And I don't know how it happened, but people just wanted somewhere to go, and they figure, okay, why don't we go to the home that Kobe Bryant built? And that's Staples Center, right? The original Staples Center. So people just started going down there, and then all of a sudden you just saw that crowd. It went from like a few people to maybe 100 people to, by the time you got to the evening, I don't know how many people were there. They were bringing flowers and jerseys and this and that, whatever it was. And it was, obviously all people from all walks of life, from everywhere. And that's kind of that's what Kobe touched over 20 years as a Los Angeles Laker and everything else. And of course, a father and a husband and everything else. But it's a trip. Tomorrow's 5 years. Tomorrow's 5-year anniversary of the passing of Kobe, Gianna, John Atabelli, Ken Atabelli, Alyssa Atabelli, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, Christina Mauser, and Ara Zobayan. So those were the 9 that all deceased on January 26th. That's coming up tomorrow. Not really, obviously the way you want to kind of share it, but I think sometimes that, it's easy to forget, or, we just have no idea. But I saw that a little bit earlier today. Crazy. Obviously the way that all kind of went down and everything else. So, all right, that's pretty much what we got for tonight. So, we got almost 55 minutes in. Yes, the way this kind of night started, it was another good win for the Lakers. Obviously, a win against the Golden State Warriors. I mentioned to you guys, they've won 5 of their last 6 games. Couple games behind the Denver Nuggets in the NBA standings. We do know that they're sitting in the 5th spot right now. Be interesting week and a half for the Lakers. What are they going to do? What's it going to look like? What kind of trades are they going to make? All that stuff is going to be, very, very interesting as it all plays out. So we'll get a chance to see that unfold here. I'm back Monday morning, 8 a.m. right here. We'll talk some Lakers basketball. We'll talk some NFL for the games that are coming up tomorrow. Whatever else is going on, we'll try to get into it, kind of keep it more SoCal based. Thank you for being a part of the show. Please subscribe to the channel. I know I don't mention it probably as often as I should, but it would really, really help. Trying to get to 30,000. I could definitely use you guys' support in that. Thank you for being a part of the show, and we'll get back with you guys Monday morning. Enjoy the NFL games. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you, everybody.